Stop saying that. Stop saying that. No. Hang on. Unfortunately, I am looking at this live and I don't see you. I don't see you. I don't even hear your voice coming through. Okay, so back out. I'll keep the viewers busy for 2 seconds and just mention our sponsors while you're backing out and coming back in. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. All right. So while Reggie is readjusting camera, I just want to mention that Hot Topics Talk Radio Network is sponsored by FES Protection, as well as SPMG Media. I'm just waiting for your camera to show up, Reggie. SPMG Media, as well as the Urban Sentinel. So for more information regarding all of our sponsors, head on over to our website at hottopictalkradio.com/sponsors. I'm trying to see if you're showing up, Reggie. All right. So until I can figure that out, I do want to say thank you to those who are joining us right now. And for all of our shows, you can head on over to our website at hottopictalkradio.com/archives. All right. So, Reggie, we are in business now.
Okay. So, as I stated earlier, we've had a lot of news in the past week or so. As I stated earlier, we started out Friday with the funeral of one of the greatest voices ever to grace this earth, this planet, the Queen, Aretha Franklin. And on Saturday, we had the funeral of Senator John McCain. And gosh, yesterday we had Nike come out with their new advertisement, with Colin Kaepernick on. That's caused a lot of controversy. But when you look at the funeral Saturday of John McCain, it seems like he, as we do know and we heard through the news, he did plan his own funeral, and that's what he wanted to do, to make sure everything was done the way he wanted to do. And but I doubt he left instructions on what he wanted the people who eulogized him to talk about. His daughter, President Bush, and the great President Barack Obama. But they all spoke in unison, and they all and they gave a message. Okay, without calling any names, they gave messages, and I think that was something for the books. But I know we said tonight we were going to talk about speaking from the grave, but let's start with Friday's funeral. And like I said, we're probably going to hit about 3 or 4 topics pretty easily tonight as we move along for the next hour. But with the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin's funeral Saturday.
Oh my God! I love me some Aretha.
Oh yeah.
Riri is what they used to call her.
Yeah,
however, that was the longest funeral I've ever known.
Yes, it was. And a lot of people were on it. They had a lot of people on the program, and hey, she deserved it. Okay, I mean,
she did. But how many hours was that?
Close to 10 hours. supposed to turn it
I left and it was starting. When I got home, it was still going on.
Yeah, so I had to go to work Friday, but I did DVR it, and I DVR'd it all the way through 7 o'clock, and I think I got everything on it, But we had a little bit of controversy in that funeral, and the first thing started out with the bishop and his hands. That was.
See, I didn't see all of it, so you're going to have to bring me up to speed, and then I'll just comment.
Us churchgoers, we're in the business of giving out these holy hugs and everything, and I think his little holy hug, his hand kind of got in the wrong. Well, she is a very small, very petite young lady.
Who?
What's the name? Eric. Can't pronounce the name. The singer that sung Aretha Franklin. I'm not good at pronouncing her name. Eric Grande.
Yeah. Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande. Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. The hand got kind of like right up in the ear, And I don't think it was intentional. It was just that she's a very petite young lady. But you got to be careful how you hug people, okay? And everything. So he didn't mean to do it, but it happened. He apologized, and everything. And gosh, but the thing you should have seen was, Bill Clinton was going like this. And he got it to sing. His eyes went like this.
Really?
Yeah.
OMG. OMG.
So you had that issue there, but the singing was good. The tributes were good. But what do you think about the pastor who gave a eulogy? What do you think about his eulogy?
See, I didn't see a lot of it.
Right.
It seemed like while I was at the office, if I pulled it up, it was always that someone was singing.
Right.
I didn't see anything else.
Yeah, I forgot. You're on the West Coast, so your time was definitely okay, and that's why you didn't see a lot. Well,
right.
I think his eulogy, what he spoke about was the wrong time, the wrong place. He was talking about that Black lives doesn't matter in the sense that until we take care of our own neighborhoods, that wasn't the time. Black lives, that matter. And then Stevie Wonder yelled out, "Black lives do matter." He just, he yelled it out. And then he made some controversial statements concerning having a role model, a male role model in the household. As you know, Miss Franklin, she had 4 boys that she raised herself. It was just the wrong place, the wrong time. It was like he was taking aim at her and everything, So, it was something, It was something.
What do you think?
Now, before we can move on, my friend,
wait, hang on though.
Toni.
Oh crap!
Seems like we're having a little technical difficulties tonight, and I'm on camera by myself right now, but I can handle it,
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. No, so I was.
But let me ask you a question though, Reg.
Right.
What do you think Aretha Franklin would have said about her own funeral service?
I think she would have said, "Glory, hallelujah, thank you, Lord." Didn't know that many people love me. But I think she would have beat up on the pastor, okay, who gave the eulogy, okay?
Wow.
I think he would have coming to him from her, okay? Because of the simple fact, it was wrong. You're supposed to be there uplifting that person in a sense of a celebration of life, okay? And that's what his eulogy should have been about. How her songs touched the world,
Right.
Made it to the top when there were obstacles in her way. Right. That's what a eulogy is about. Okay.
Well, because her music had touched so many people for so many years. Right. And it wasn't just wasn't Black people.
Right.
She spoke about things that a lot of it that she experienced, which was heartache and pain and relationships, and then getting over those relationships. And taking, for instance, the song Respect. You know,
Right.
these songs were written for a reason. So she's touched so many other people that could actually identify with what she was going through while she was in whatever time period was of her life. So, you know, for a pastor, which, like I said, I didn't hear it, but with what you're telling me was inappropriate. That was not the time. That's what, you know, that's what I'm gathering from what you're telling me. If somebody else feels differently, please, we accept your comments and we will definitely put them up and we will address them. So,
like I said, it's a time and place for everything. That the sermon he did, the eulogy he did, just wasn't the time for it. You know, so and the family members spoke out about it too. They didn't care too much for it either because it just wasn't the time and the place, you know, for that type of sermon, eulogy sermon / sermon and everything. You know, so but overall, I tell you, what they got down.
I tell you. But see, from what I understood is that when Stevie Wonder had finally gotten to his performance, people were already leaving the service, you know, and I think that was just too long. They should have had a set number of people that would have either commented, you know, made their remarks and performed and kept it at that, you know, because that's just way too long.
That was a black funeral. Okay, we get down. Okay.
Oh,
like, hey, she was the queen. Okay, and they put a lot. I looked at the program. I looked at the program with of the film that was put out right before the film the day on Thursday, and they had everything planned. But with the thing, you know, you have a lot of you don't follow the script. Okay. You get away from the script, and then things start happening. Okay. You know. So
my God.
That's how it was. But it was great. It was great.
Well, good. Before we get into the eulogies of Senator John McCain and the remarks of his passing, I do want to recognize a few people who are sitting in with us so far, who are viewing tonight. Miss Jacqueline, always a pleasure. We always know Miss Jacqueline gonna be here. If she's not, then we know something's wrong.
That's right. We can't have a show.
So, hey, Ms. Jacqueline, just want to say hello to you. Also, Cousin Yvonne Baker, also host with me and Roland D of Hot Topics Talk Radio TV. What's going on, cousin? It's good to see you. Also, Toni Jones. Hello, Toni Jones. Good to see you. Also, author Lynette Jewell. Good to see you. So I just want to say thank you for joining us. We do appreciate you tuning in tonight, and we do welcome your comments. So send your comments, put your comments up while we're broadcasting, and we will display them. And we will actually also try to address your comments at the same time. So get to going on the comments.
And so we have Louis Powell and Judy Rudolph who are watching also.
Hey, how you guys doing? How you doing? Like Wendy.
Okay, so then we move to Saturday. Okay, very solemn 2 hours and a half event, you know, and like I said,
white people funeral.
Yeah. Very solemn event, but you know, like he wanted it. Okay, I mean, he planned it out and everything. It was his film. That's how he wanted. But it was almost like he was speaking from the grave because the comments his daughter made, comments President Obama made, and the comments that President Bush made, which were on point. They were able to make their points without calling out the person in the White House name.
Exactly.
And they did an excellent job of that because the three eulogies were eulogies that we needed to hear as Americans. Okay. Uh, Unfortunately, the person in the White House has destroyed the moral fiber of this country with his actions. Okay, he has divided this country. He continues on dividing this country. As they stated in his meeting last week with white evangelical pastors and preachers from around the country, he implored them, and he didn't think it was going to get out, to try to do that, try to influence the African American churches and their voters not to vote Democrat
Right.
in November. Okay.
Right.
The previous week before then, he had the so-called quote unquote black urban pastors who don't represent anyone into his office, to talk about prison reform. And then the next day, he decided he wasn't going to support the prison reform bill, which DOJ was very happy that he didn't support.
Mm-hmm.
So the eulogies were on point to show the flaws that we have in this country, especially with the leadership that we have right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very pathetic situation when you have living presidents that are at a funeral of a great American that was eulogized, and you don't have the current president there. He wasn't invited to Barbara Bush funeral. Wasn't invited to the wedding. So the boy got.
But see, and that right there, right there speaks volumes.
Yeah,
it speaks volumes as to who this man is.
Yeah,
and that's why I think it's so unnerving for me, for people who are still rallying behind this person. And I barely want to call him a person, but it's just unnerving to me how people are still standing by and, I mean, hanging on to every word. That part, I just don't understand. Yeah.
Well, when it comes to the Republicans, which, I was looking at an article from Politico, that article on, let me see, it was Saturday or either on the 9/1, which was Saturday or Sunday, Saturday, I believe, where they wrote a piece that the Republicans were his supporters, the guy in the White House supporters, were upset at the comments that were made at the funeral and everything. It's the truth. Okay, it was the truth, and you got to accept the truth, but they don't want you to accept the truth. When it comes to him, I think a lot of the Republican senators and congressmen, I'm scared if they go against him, they're going to lose their seats. So what? Stand on the side of right. Exactly. Even if you get voted out, at least you can go out saying you were standing on the side of right. Okay. I don't care for Jeff Sessions. Okay. Never have, never will.
Right.
But the dude is taking a beating right now.
He really is.
Yeah. What president have you ever heard has gone so hard at the attorney general? Okay.
Never.
And he's going to lose his job.
Yeah.
But one thing you got to give the little dude, he's going to hang in there until he gets called. Well, no, he'll find out on Twitter that he's been fired. Okay.
Like everybody else.
Yeah. He's going to hang in there.
With the exception of Omarosa. But you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. I do want to read the comment by author Lynette M. Jewell. Author Jewel, I can't put the comment up because it's going to hide the screen because it's so much. Okay. So just as a word of advice to those who are writing comments, be mindful that if it's a long comment, I can't put it up because it will cover the screen and I cannot hide that wonderful face right there, Mr. Reggie Kearney. So author Lynette says, what you all have to realize is that Senator John McCain and Aretha Franklin did not hold back their thoughts or their words while they were alive. So what made anyone think that now of their passing, that their words were not going to be sitting or going to sting after they were gone? 45 had it coming. You're right. You're right. Because you know what unnerved me? And let me tell you what sticks in my mind when it comes to the passing of Aretha Franklin and number 45. when that ass, I'm trying not to cuss. So when this person said publicly and in a tweet, oh yeah, she was a wonderful person, she used to work for me, I was appalled. I was like, work for you? Worked for you? No, she performed at one of his casinos. She didn't work for him.
Right.
And I thought, what kind of, I'm trying to be nice. I'm really trying not to cuss, Reggie. But to me, it was almost like, it was like a stab. Like, why would she work for you?
But
she had a
But that's how he sees people. That's how he sees that, people of color as workers, okay? She was an entertainer.
Right.
A great entertainer.
Right.
Bill Clinton came up to eulogize her. The first thing he did, he took his phone out and popped on a Aretha Franklin song. And then he said his comments. I mean, it was pretty cool because it caught everybody off guard.
Right.
That's the kind of respect and love she had. But for him, yeah, that's a worker. That's how he looks at, people of color. They're workers, okay? They're workers.
So what first of all, what messages does it send to the country? Because I know that you had mentioned that we both said it's a lot when you have two former presidents who eulogized Senator McCain, and not the sitting president who is currently sitting, was not even in attendance because he was not invited by the man that they're eulogizing.
Right.
Other than that message, what else rings out for you?
Well, it lets us know that we're in trouble. That the guy in the White House has really torn this nation apart. And that's what it shows. And it shows that we've got a lot of work to do. It's going to take, in 2020, when the new president comes in 2021, which would not be the person in the White House now, it's going to take a lot to put this country back together, okay? Because what has happened is that we are at each other's throat, okay? When you have someone saying that if the Democrats win in November, if there's a sweep in November, there's going to be all out craziness going on, that they're going to be fighting and stuff, okay?
That's a threat.
He's always throwing meat at his base and to arouse them. But you got to realize his base is 34%.
Right.
That support him is about 34%. And they're not crazy enough, and sure enough, the Democrats aren't crazy enough to go out and start a riot after the election, okay?
Right.
But it feels like this is a way to motivate, his people. But then he says things like, he was talking about Sessions today, and he called him a damn Southerner. Okay, he spoke.
That was today.
Yeah, today or yesterday. So, but his base won't pick up on it. The base will feel like he's directing it at Sessions only. But look, he's directing it at the whole base. That's how he feels about his whole base. Okay, he doesn't care nothing about those people, as long as they fill up, the stadiums and stuff. When he goes in there, and they're not even filling up the stadiums, because what they do, they show you the front of the stadium. They never show you all the empty seats at the back of these coliseums and stuff. So people are not really flocking to him like they want. They do the photo op in the background and around the front to make it seem like there's a whole lot of people there and stuff. So it spoke to this country is you have a person in the White House who doesn't understand civility. Okay. And he's willing to do anything at any cost to get his agenda across, which is not really nothing. We talked about that last week. All he's doing is executive orders, okay? So the things are coming out. One of the things looking at the political comments from the political website on Saturday, says McCain's service was on one level a return to old Washington civility, with Republicans and Democrats, past presidents, friends, and foes gathered in unity. But as its tributes echoed with overt criticism of the president, it only deepened the hostility between the city's establishment and outsiders in the White House. So, even though the eulogies provided truth, it's causing backlash and hostilities from the White House. you know. And then, like I said, Jared and Ivanka sitting there, and they look like they were very uncomfortable. They should have got
You know
this
what?
now.
I saw that. I saw that, but I was even surprised that they were invited.
Well, listen, that was Lindsey Graham who invited them.
Right.
And then he mentioned it to Mrs. McCain, was it okay? Hey, you know, at that time, okay, cool, let them come on in. But they shouldn't have been there, okay?
No.
You know,
not with what is going on right now.
Yeah, with your father criticizing McCain and calling him, he's talking about war. He wasn't a war hero because he got captured.
Because he was captured.
You know.
Well, let's see if his bone spurred feet ass could have done any better. You know, didn't. That's that. It just he infuriates me.
Yeah.
I don't know why, and maybe it's. I feel like I'm on an island by myself when I'm saying these things, but it's just I've never had anything that infuriates me so much about a person, and I don't even know this person, but I know what he represents. I know what he has done to separate the people of this country. I know that he has separated children from their mothers and fathers. I know that, you know, he continues to lie, and then he wants to tell the truth, but he can't tell the truth in the early morning tweets. And be man enough to go to Fox News and be man enough to tell whatever truth you think it is. Okay. Because you've even gone on there lately and have these people looking at you like you're idiots. Right. They're even looking at him like he's crazy, which he is. And this is, again, it's so important for us to vote and get control of the House. Yeah. It's crucial.
Yeah, it is.
We're in a crucial time.
It's very crucial that we make a change in November, because I'm gonna tell you, if we don't make that change in November, we're gonna have hell on our hands for the next 2 years. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because he's going to really turn it on, and if he thinks he's not going to get reelected, he's really going to turn it on for the next 2 years and everything. You know, the economy isn't doing as great as they say it's doing. Okay, you know, because if it was, then why would he want to take away the pay raise for federal employees? Okay, exactly. Saying add to the deficit. Well, you know what's adding to the deficit? First of all, you go out and you create tariffs, and then you want to give over $4 billion in payments to the farmers to cover their losses. That's what's causing the deficit. Okay, he supports who he wants to support, and people he doesn't want to support, he's not going to do. You know, so that's crazy. But like I said, McCain's funeral was on point. You know, the eulogies were on point. You know, they came and said what they had to say.
Well, like you said, they didn't have to mention any names, but the messages were clear that we are in trouble, and this administration has put us there, and things have to be done in order for us to see a turnaround. Unfortunately, it's going to take time to turn around, but just think, the longer he stays in office, the worse it's going to get. It's going to be to a point that we will barely recover. We will barely recover. That's where we're going right now. I want to kind of read some of these comments, if you don't mind, Reggie. Let's see. Let me try and go back. In reference to what we were saying about McCain serving and him having bone spurs, I said ass bone spurs. Jacqueline says he dodged the draft. Who's the coward? Yvonne said, although 45 wasn't involved, he knew the message would get to him, and what a message it was. You're right, Yvonne. Jacqueline then says Trump is full of it. Yeah, Jacqueline, I want to say something else, but it's still the same thing. He's foolish. Author Lynette says, now I got into a debate. She said, now I got into a debate with somebody on this. Let's take the politics. Let's take out the politics. What's the difference between Obama and 45? Big difference between the two. Well, this is a political show. So we talk politics. We talk news and politics. Lewis Powell says, this is my second time participating on your live feed. Very good topic. Great job to you both. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Powell. I appreciate it. Although I don't care for Megan on The View, her eulogy was dynamic. Yes, Miss Yvonne Baker, it was. I saw bits and pieces of it, and the pieces that I saw, the highlights of it, phenomenal. Let's see. Jacqueline says, I'm ready for this whole administration to clear out. Jacqueline, you are not alone. I feel like taking boxes to Pennsylvania Avenue and sitting out there in front so I can move people out. Serious. We need to force their asses out of there. And the only way of doing that is to go vote. You have to vote. You got to get this taken care of.
The red states, the people in the red states have really got to vote. They got to get registered, okay, to go out and vote. States like North Carolina, Georgia, the Carolinas in particular, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, southern states, those red states, they got to go out and vote. It's going to be very important, especially in the states where he was able to garner electoral votes. Whoever's running as a Democrat is going to get out there and make sure he does it. And then you still got to look at what the Russians are going to do in 2020, okay?
See, and that's, you're right. Because even though we get out there and vote, those are the risks we have right now. Yeah.
So that could be a thing. But then, so like I said, a weekend of funerals, 2 back-to-back funerals of great Americans. But then we come to yesterday with Nike. And I love my Nike.
Tell me the story on Nike.
Well, basically, they have made Colin Kaepernick. This is the 30th anniversary of that Just Do It campaign, and he's a picture. He's the face of that campaign for this year. Basically, has a caption: "Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything." So hey, pretty heavy stuff. But this is what burns me up. It brought out the true colors of a lot of Americans, okay? And the post, and a lot of people were upset about the fact that Nike would use him as the spokesperson or the face of this 30-year ad. So
why not?
Because of some effect, he started that kneeling process.
He actually didn't start the kneeling process.
I know everybody forgets Tim Tebow kneeled
exactly
for against abortion. They don't remember that.
They don't remember that.
This is what it is. A lot of people, a lot of racists have selective memories. Okay, so they remember what they want to remember. Okay, so what happened yesterday? People started protesting. They started burning their Nike clothing and tennis shoes and things of that nature, But in the comments that I've seen on posted on Facebook, racist and ridiculous. Okay, here even in my area, the mayor of the town I live in got caught up in it. And see, this is the thing. People got to realize they got to be careful when they go tagging somebody on Facebook and liking a post. Okay, I know some people that be looking at these Facebook pages and trolling just to see what's going on. So she got caught up in that. So she was she put a like to somebody who was making a comment, a derogatory comment concerning this Nike promotion and stuff. And she took heat for it because a lot of people in the county, went at her. Okay, they went at her hard. Well, let me tell you what she did to try to wiggle her little butt out of it. Okay, and for you all to know where I live in La Plata, Maryland. Okay, let me tell you what she did. Okay, so it's obvious that you recognize the fact that the mayor is white. Okay, She is a instructor at the College of Southern Maryland, which is a 2-year college here. And she made she put in a comment. Well, no, wait a minute. Let me see. I got to do the exact rules. This is when I tell y'all this. y'all gonna shake y'all heads, okay? So I got to bring up the
But
right
see,
thing.
while you're doing that, though, I just don't understand how, one, you could denigrate him for standing up for something that has to do with the rights of people, and
Right.
especially Black people.
Right.
I don't understand, because basically Nike was, it's always hit home when it came to American sports.
Right.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Colin Kaepernick is an American sportsman.
Right.
He represents the United States for American sports, for football. One of the greatest pastimes in sports at all, okay, besides baseball.
Right.
So if he is an American, and if he had served his job well and served the sports well, then why is it that he's being shunned, or Nike is shunning the fact that he's being represented under their campaigns or their advertisement? See, that's what's sticky for me, because he's an American. And he's standing up for what is supposed to not be going on in America. So how do you denigrate someone for doing that?
Right.
That's where I'm stuck.
Here's a portion of the dumb comment she made. So what she basically said, I can't bring it out of luck, I lost that page, but it says, in reference to the post on Colin Kaepernick, now she's an instructor in the communications department. I want to thank everyone for participating in this lively social experiment.
Social experiment.
Yeah, I want to keep this post up for 24 hours, but it was getting a little out of hand. Basically, she was trying to focus on and see what the reaction of the people would be on Facebook. So one of the guy who found all this information said, so the experiment made her look like a racist. Who does she really think she is fooling outside from racists like herself? Okay, so she was trying. She got beat up bad. So what she was trying to do is to backtrack, so she could get us wiggle herself
so she doesn't get the negative connotation from her.
Right. And then you look at some of the comments that people were making. They were talking about, let me see, gosh, it was one that says, Nike is going after a core customer base. Think the type of kids who kill other kids just to steal their expensive Nikes, okay? The core base is African Americans, okay?
Yeah, we spend a lot of money.
Yeah. But, what does that message say, okay? So those are the kind of comments. And she was tagging those comments, okay? That's why she got herself in trouble and got caught up. But it was a social experience, for her communications class, okay?
Bullshit. Excuse me, viewers. But bullshit.
Yeah. I'm gonna write the president of the college tomorrow, or I might call her, or I might even stop by her office. I'm gonna let her know she need to get rid of it, okay?
Well, you can do that now. See, you're a politician now.
But really, I can't do it because as a elected judge, I'm bound by the ethics of the Maryland courts. I'm not even supposed to be involved in politics, okay? But
still.
I'm gonna let her. Yeah, I know, but I am gonna let the president of Southern Maryland know that I'm pretty upset about her instructor's social experiment, okay, going wrong, okay,
So for those that don't know, Reggie, I want you to tell everybody about now your current position there in Maryland. Because we are so proud. No, I want you to tell them what is going on.
Oh no, but let me tell you something else about the Nike promotion. Okay?
Are you serious?
Yes, okay.
No, I want you to do that because we are so proud of you.
I'm not doing anything big, okay? It's nothing. It's nothing.
It
okay?
is. It is.
Okay.
Go for it.
Go for it. Well, I recently ran for election, okay, for 2 spots because I didn't think I was gonna get neither one of them, but one I knew I probably could get one. I just left it in the Lord's hands. So fortunately, I was able to win 2 races at one time. One was for the judge of offense court, okay, which is really similar to the probate court here in most states. And then the other one was on the Charles County Central Democrat Central Committee, which I had to give up because of some fact someone outside of our community went to the Maryland Attorney General for opinion on could I participate. And then I knew I got a phone call from someone else, and so what I did, I looked up the information on the Maryland courts, and it said that any judge, regardless of judges, whatever judge or district court, whatever, ethically cannot participate in a political organization or political committee. So I recently resigned from the Democrat Central Committee, where I had been elected vice chairman of that, to concentrate on being a member of the judge of the office court, because basically I see it as a ministry and helping people, okay? Because a lot of people at that time of death and trying to work through their wills and stuff have a lot of issues, and you know how families can get sometimes with wills and guardianship of kids who might lose their parents and stuff. Hey, it's just
but again, it is a big deal. So all congratulations goes out to Mr. Reggie Kearney. But you know what? And as you were mentioning that, I do want to mention also is that a schoolmate of mine, and I'm going to have to try and get with you and Chara to see if this is okay. But a schoolmate of mine 100 years ago, I spoke to him, and Mr. Melvin Clark. He is now going to be on the ballot for the 2020 presidential election.
Oh, okay.
So I am just so proud of Melvin. I really am. And knowing him and knowing his passion for right and for fairness and justice and all of these different things that have to do with people and Black people and, people of color. Knowing this, I fully and wholeheartedly support what he's doing. I really, really do. And I'd like to be able to get him on this show.
Okay, cool.
To get him going. But again, Melvin Clark, one of my old classmates, grew up with him, is running for the 2020 presidential election. So I do want to say that. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, but let me tell you what one knucklehead did yesterday. Okay, he was burnt his Nike tennis shoes. Okay, but look what the fool did. It showed on Facebook. He pours oil and gasoline on his shoes while his shoes are still on his feet. He set his shoes on fire.
What an idiot! What an idiot! Serious.
Needless to say, his feet didn't look too good after all was done and said. Okay.
OMG.
But they have, see, this is a problem with a lot of white Americans, okay, especially the racist ones. They still don't understand, and they still don't get it on why there's a protest, okay? Why the football players and Americans are protesting, protesting during the national anthem by either sitting down or raising their fists or taking a knee, okay? It's to bring awareness to the issues that affect Black Americans here in this country.
Right. Okay. Because if this was any kind of America that they say that this country was built on justice and fairness and just on principle alone, then none of the things that are going on with Blacks should be happening. And that is the reason for the protest. Has nothing to do with our military, has nothing to do with our flag, because you can still address and say, you know what, I have respect for this country. However, you can still say, however, you know, this is what I see that's wrong. And that is all that these people are doing when they take a knee. They're saying, this is what I see that is wrong, and it has to be addressed. It has to be fixed. It has nothing to do with our military. We're not disrespecting anything, because I go to events, have been just to one, last week. And as the Pledge of Allegiance was said and the national anthem was played, I just stood there, didn't put my hand over my heart, and I really didn't care if it offended anybody. because I believe in a certain stature when it comes to how African Americans, how people of color are being treated in this country.
Yeah.
And I stand by that.
Yeah. And we got to realize that flag has not always been there for us. Okay. When you look at our ancestors who built this country, this country was built on their backs as slaves. And in 1865, the Emancipation Proclamation came along and said we were free. The flag still didn't represent us.
It didn't.
We came into the beginning of the century during the World War, during the 20s and 30s, and we still weren't represented because they went and burnt our towns down. They burnt down the Black Wall Street. Then we went into the wars, and we went into the World War II. We went
still not represented.
Still never represented. Then in the mid 60s, we had to fight for the right to vote. Okay, the flag was supposed to be representing us, and we had to fight for the right to vote. Still didn't happen. Then we go into the 70s. It's still not happening because the schools are segregated. We're going through the rise, coming out of the rise of '68 and a lot of other things, but the flag wasn't still under us. And then we come to our Trayvon Martin, okay, who gets killed by some sucker talking about he's standing his ground when he picked a fight. We still won't represent the flag. Then we go to Ferguson for Brown, and we still not representing the flag. We still, even today, because so much police brutality that's happening in our community, we still not represented.
And it still does go into the schools, because you can go into any school today, whether it be in the urban communities or whether it be in the suburban areas, and you'll still see a difference between the availability of books, books that are of current edition. You'll see that the children in the urban schools are still not given the tools and the supplies that they need, and the teachers having to go out and buy. It's still to the point we're not represented. Still. And you expect these children to stand in a classroom in front of a flag and put their hand over their heart and pledge the allegiance to a country that still believes that they are beneath white folk.
And I have members of my family that are part of armed service, and I respect them.
Absolutely.
I respect the soldiers. They do something that many of us can't do. They put themselves in harm's way. But the thing about it, it's not even about our soldiers. It's not about the Star Spangled Banner. It's not about, well, it could be about Star Spangled Banner. When you get down to the last stanza,
exactly.
It's a balance. That's what a lot of people don't know about them last two stanzas. We need to sing the whole song. They say, "Oops, we need to stop singing this." Might need to change the national anthem.
Exactly. But it's all by design. You don't sing the last two stanzas because of what it represents.
Yeah. So
and people know that. Well, some people know that. I know that, and you know that.
So they protesting over what? So burn your stuff. Pour more gasoline on your feet and set your shoes on fire with your feet are in there. Just gonna do your thing, okay? But we're gonna keep on until there's no more police brutality taking place in our communities, okay? I was so happy that the prosecutor in Florida looked at that case again, that the sheriff said was stand your ground, and charged that guy with manslaughter or first-degree manslaughter or something. Because it's obvious when you look at the video, the man was backing off and walking away, and he gonna shoot him then. Why he didn't try to shoot him down on the ground? He was about to beat him up, but he walks away from him, walking back towards the store, and then he shoots him. Come on now, that ain't no stand your ground.
No. But again, if it weren't, what is the phrase? I feared for my life.
Yeah, and he didn't have no fear for his life. Dude just shoved him down because he was harassing the guy's girlfriend by parking in a handicap zone, and that's all it was. Okay. Guy wasn't gonna get beat up. The guy was gonna beat him when he shoved him. He would have reached down there and picked him up and shook him a couple times. Those are the things, and that's what a lot of whites don't realize. We trying to bring attention to the issues in our communities, okay? And it's bringing issues, but at the same time, they all getting all bent out of shape. Why are you doing this? Why are you kneeling? Why are you picking him? And all this.
Right. Well, don't you think, Reg? It's just, no matter what it is, it's just cause to say in so many words, nigga, we don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, can I just put it plain like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate to use that word, but that's the word that is out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
You have to be honest to what it is.
Yeah.
They're just saying, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. And see, they don't want us to protest. As long as we sit at home and go to work and come back home and look at TV and all that kind of stuff and support the community by spending our money in their stores, then they cool with that. But once we started raising our heads and started raising our voices and protesting issues, oh, we're not supposed to do that. You know, they want to control the narrative, and we should control our own narrative, not them. Okay? We still didn't get our 48 in mute, okay? We still ain't got it yet.
And that's and see, and that's why I think it's so important that we do these shows. Some people that might watch our shows, whether it's this show here on Real World News, Hot Topics, or whether it's Man to Man, the point is that we are controlling our narrative, not just the narrative between the people that you see that are on these shows. We control the narrative by allowing people to understand what is going on and participate in what is being said and be able to voice their opinions. We are, as a people, controlling the narrative instead of allowing someone else to control the narrative that is controlling our lives and telling us what we can and cannot do, how we should feel or how we shouldn't feel, what's right and what's wrong. Yeah, I'm trying not to go there. I'm really trying not to. I'm trying not to.
Well, ESPN said for their Monday Night Football games and in the other NFL football games this year, they won't be showing the portion of the game at the beginning of the game where they sang the national anthem. You know, they won't be. They weren't going to do that and everything. You know, so it's just issue after issue after issue, but they just don't get it. You know. We have to continue to raise our voices.
Yeah.
You know, we have to continue to raise our voices. And if we stop raising our voices, then they're gonna run right on top of us. You know.
Yeah.
But you got some of the guys out there, the African Americans also that don't support, you know, what Kaepernick is doing, you know, what he has done and what other players are doing and everything. But the NFL owners gonna get a rude awakening when they get into court and they got to show that they didn't work together to keep Kaepernick out of the NFL. You know, they're gonna have to work hard at showing that they didn't. And I think at the end of the day, he's gonna win his case. You know, he's gonna win his case. You know?
I tell you, well, I just noticed that there were other comments. They're not actually showing on my board, but I'm looking at it in the feed. Yvonne had said, "Stop being modest, Judge Reggie." She says, "You earned it." Malcolm says, "They get it. They just don't want to face their racist ways during the game because it makes them uncomfortable around the same people they hate." I like that. Excellent point. Excellent. The remembrance bothers them severely. I have to agree. I have to agree, because I think that's why there's such a problem with the narrative, having the narrative, opening up a dialogue, because once certain things are said and those things of truth are said, then all of a sudden the dialogue needs to be ended. That's when that's when the cameras stop. That's when it becomes, too uncomfortable, know. But I think that during these dialogues, this narrative that we have, even if it's just amongst our friends who are of non-color, I think that it's okay to get angry. It's okay to get emotional, because without the emotion, then people don't have the realization of this being real. They don't understand how it affects our lives. So you do have to get angry. You just have to learn how to control it. But it's okay to be boisterous.
And I think we have showed great restraint in the African American community with our protests and everything. We haven't gone back to the ways of the 60s when we rioted and we tried to burn down everything. We've showed great restraint, but we want people to hear us and we want people to listen to us.
Right.
and everything. But when you got the sheriff Clark individuals out here, and the Petersons out here that talk negative about African Americans, and we don't know how to stay in our place and all that, it does make it hard for the struggle to get heard. You know, when you got a couple of so-called African Americans who lost their way, you know, it does affect us. Okay.
Yeah.
It does affect us.
Yeah. I don't know, but we are down to 2 minutes, Reginald. 2 minutes. That went fast.
Yeah.
That went really, really fast. Oh my gosh.
What we have to cover next? I know. I'm pretty sure next week, after the football games this weekend, there'll be a lot of things being said, you know, about players taking a knee and everything. If you notice in the news, this one lady had to resign her counsel position for calling NFL players who take a knee buffoons. You know, so she had to resign. You know, people just don't realize, you know, it's a lot of racism out here. Okay. And
I don't know how anyone would not realize it.
Yeah, you got people out here who don't realize it. Okay. It's sad to say, you know, they think everything is lovely. You know,
living in a freaking bubble.
Yeah, they are. They are. Like the Sheriff Clarks and the Petersons, they live in a bubble because they don't think nothing's wrong. And poor, I don't know, I don't feel no pain for him. What's the guy, the old man that used to play football, Brown? You know, he's lost.
Yeah, some lost souls out there. Oh my God.
Jim Brown.
But he comes in an era where he wasn't all that free.
Yeah, they probably made him take a shower outside in another locker room.
Under water hose, probably.
Yeah, water hose, yeah, you know. But, yeah.
Anyway, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, we're going to get there one day.
I hope you're right. I hope you are right. So you ready to get out of here?
Yeah, got to see the man early in the morning. See, what time is it out there? It's what, 6:30?
6:30. And I still got stuff to do. Yeah.
It's 9:30 here, you know, almost my bedtime, okay?
I'm about to go in there and watch the have and have nots put together tomorrow night show for Hot Topics and for Thursday night for Man to Man. That's what I'm about to do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got to have and have nots on DVR, so I'll catch it tomorrow.
That's no fun. All right. So thank you for having me on tonight, Reggie, to sit in for Chara and Tappin again. We do really want to send out our prayers to Chara and her family while she's going through some difficulties with her family. So she'll be back next week on Tuesday. Reggie, you want to recognize anyone tonight? Say hello, say goodbye.
I want to thank everyone who joined the show tonight. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you ever want to hear a certain topic, want to hear us discuss some things, you know, just hit us up on our Facebook page, Real World News TV Facebook page. Like us, okay? Because we do post some news articles from the Urban Sentinel and other news publications around the world, around the country, you know, so we try to keep up with the latest events. So hit us up, like us on Real World News TV Facebook page, and, you know, we enjoy what we enjoy. You know, we're just a little small voice out here trying to make a difference, okay? So tell your friends about us and help us increase our numbers, you know. Hopefully one day you might see us on MSNBC or TV One. Never know. Let's go. I
don't know if they can handle me, Reg. I don't think they can pull me back.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks again for tuning in to Real World News TV with Reggie Kearney, and of course with me, Toni Breedlove, sitting in for Chara and Tappin. Make sure that you come on back here next week on Tuesday night. The shows always begin at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 p.m. Central, and 8:30 on the East Coast. Make sure that you find us on our website at hottopicstalkradio.com/Real World News TV. It's been a great pleasure to sit with you again, and I look forward to seeing you soon, as soon as tomorrow on Hot Topics Talk Radio TV. Not you, Rich.
I'll be there too.
Oh, we got a great show lined up for tomorrow night. OMG. What is it called? Diary of a Bitter Woman.
Yeah, it's a lot of y'all out here. I think I'll skip that one.
So join us tomorrow night on Hot Topics Talk Radio with me, Roland D, and the lovely Miss Yvonne Baker. The show's tomorrow night starts at 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 10 o'clock Central, and 11 o'clock on the East Coast. We will see you tomorrow. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Love you. Real World News TV, you are now clear. Good night, everybody.